Andrew McCART, IFL TV in association with MTK Global. You know, as always, I'm delighted to be joined by the big man himself, Eddie Hearn. Eddie,
You got the gig out in Miami, son.
that's the first time in Miami?
You've cracked it. You've cracked it. No, good to be here. Obviously, we're in a bubble, unfortunately, I guess, because life is quite normal out there on the streets. 15,000 people at the Miami Dolphin Stadium, the Hard Rock Stadium on Saturday, ahead of the big one, Canelo Alvarez, returning in a kind of like interim fight. You know, you got his two standard fight nights, which is Cinco de Mayo in September. This is a mandatory defence he needs to make, and really good for him and the sport that he's jumped on it so quickly. 8 weeks after Callum Smith?
That's what I was going to say. It's a 8-week, 10-week turnaround, however you want to. I don't know the maths, but I mean, people are saying, "Oh, he's cherry picking." I spoke to a lot of people saying he's cherry picking Yildirim. Why is he picked him? It's like, it's mandatory. Come on, now he's got to do it to free up the Billy Joe Saunders fight in May. But before we talk about that, let's talk about Yildirim and that. I mean, it's a tough ask for Yildirim, isn't it, against Canelo?
Like I tweeted the other day, mission impossible, question mark. The only thing I'll say about Yildirim, you know, I can't stand here and tell you, oh, you know, he's got a great chance in this fight. He's got a chance because everybody has. There's a couple of things I'll say. Number one, he's got a big set of nuts, right? I just saw Amit owner. If you haven't interviewed Amit yet, do it.
Is that his manager?
Yes, nutcase. Great guy though, good heart. He came up to me today and he went, "You're going to get a great fight Saturday." And I went, right. He said, "Because I tell you, we are fighting fire with fire." And I thought, oh, fuck me, that's dangerous. You know, but how else are you going to win, Andy? What is the point in coming in and just surviving, fiddling around, getting backed up on the ropes, getting beaten up? And you have to let your hands go because you're not good enough to beat Canelo Alvarez. So, and the best chance that he's got is that Canelo may have had a few weeks off after Callum Smith and maybe didn't have much of a camp for this fight and maybe isn't quite as well prepared as he has been for previous. Something's got to go wrong for Canelo Alvarez. That could go wrong with preparation, or that could go on with Yildirim just coming out like, you know, and I'm not talking about from the first bell, but being aggressive in the fight and letting his hands go. It's the only chance he's got. And he has got an outstanding coach in Joel Diaz who believes in him. And Joel Diaz is not an idiot. He knows he's fighting the pound for pound number one. But I'd much rather a fight against someone with the balls and the heart of Yildirim than someone who just goes, "Oh, fucking hell, just come and just slowly get beaten up and take my money." So I'm excited for it, and I'm so excited to be promoting Canelo Alvarez at Miami Dolphins. I mean, growing up, but growing up as a kid, like, I know Miami Dolphins aren't the same level now as they were back then. But
Dan Marino fan?
Yeah, man, they were the team, weren't they? So you have to sort of pinch yourself. Gutted that it can't be 60,000, but it will be 15,000. And you know, again, it's hard. I'll say it on camera. It's hard not to be a fanboy, you know, around Canelo, because
I'm the same, Eddie. Don't worry.
It's like I'm his promoter, and I'm still like, but that's just because I love the sport and I appreciate greatness in all walks of life, but especially in sport. And when you sit down and you watch this guy fight, you just go, he's the best I've ever seen.
Talking about being a fanboy, did you see he's posted a picture of me on his Instagram and Twitter? That's I posted it to my mum, my dad, everyone got that picture, so screenshot. But
one thing I found out about Canelo is he's so he's one of the lads. I don't think they'll understand that over there, but do you know what I mean? Like, he's boyish. He's a joker. He likes to have fun. He's relaxed. And what we've tried to do around our promotion and our content is show him as the person he is, which is just a normal kid out of Guadalajara who chased his dream and found it and smashed it. So when you get him yesterday singing to his daughter and stuff, like, he's a lovely, lovely guy. And honestly, I put him, funnily enough, actually him and AJ are probably like the two easiest fighters that I work with, because all they want is the truth. All they want is a clear path for you to do your best, and you provide that for them, and they do everything else. They just got to win, you know. Yeah, but they prepare in such a way where you can have the trust in them that you know they've done everything, just like we've done everything. You know they've done everything, and consummate professionals.
Before we talk about, obviously, the news that Billy Joe Saunders might be here in Miami, obviously the fight that might happen in May, it's not been announced yet, but hope, fingers crossed, it is going to be announced soon. Before we talk about Billy Joe Saunders, I want to talk about probably your favourite fighter at the moment, Julio Cesar Martinez. Sorry, I'm sure he's over here somewhere. The little weights, man, they're causing some noise nowadays, but Martinez, he's doing his thing, and you've said before he's one of your favourite fighters, isn't he?
He is. I really feel that, when you see the support these Mexican fighters get, especially when we've been lucky enough to do shows there in Hermosillo and Tijuana, mate, he could be massive in Mexico. Martinez, you've got to keep him active. I think he's a little bit crazy as well, so we've got to work on that. But crazy's good in boxing because you need to be crazy to be a great. This guy, it's a really, really tough fight against Arroyo. It's Mexican against Puerto Rico. Golden boy here to upset the apple cart. But I really believe that he can go up. And I don't think he'll be at flyweight for too long. But we must get him to unify before he goes up, because I feel like that would be a waste. He's been a bit unlucky with a couple of injuries and, of course, the pandemic. But after this, which is his mandatory, he must try and unify. And then I want to see him move up. Malathethane, good fight. And then he must move up. And then he must.
Is that Martinez?
Yeah, he's like, I think he's hilarious. Then he must move up and move into the Chocolatito Estrada mix. Imagine him against Estrada. Fucking hell.
Well, we'll talk about Estrada next week as well. But
so, I think he's great, and also good card. Zhang's in a good fight against Forrest. Pacheco has a big move up in skill and style. Keyshawn Davis making his pro debut. Mark Castro, fight number 2. Aaron Ponce. Yeah, it's a great card.
Well, let's talk about it then. Billy Joe Saunders may or may not be here. I don't know. Fingers crossed he is. I really do hope he is, because Billy, he makes a ruckus, and I hope he does turn up. But make Vegas. What can you tell us on that fight?
Well, first,
going well for Canelo this week.
Obviously, we know it's difficult to travel at the moment, and you do need special dispensation for travelling. He's not part of the event from a participation, but we're trying to get him here, obviously, as part of the media. Touch and go. But one thing I do know is if that Canelo Alvarez beats Yildirim and comes through unscathed, there is a very good chance that you might be getting an announcement on Saturday for May the 8th. No venue confirmed yet. We're in talks with Vegas, we're in talks with Dallas Cowboys, we're in talks with a couple of other countries as well. It's the fight, isn't it? I think for me, I actually think that Canelo against Billy Joe Saunders is one of the biggest fights in boxing. I mean, one, because we know Billy's always great in the build-up, but two, you've got someone that genuinely believes he can win the fight. And I also think this, Canelo Alvarez is pound for pound number 1 in the sport. But I think if there's anyone out there in the division right now to beat him, it's Billy. So what you've got the king of boxing, the pound for pound number 1, against this rogue lunatic in Billy Joe Saunders that may just have it in him to beat him. But he believes he will. He's completely convinced he wins the fight. And again, going back, I think it's one of the biggest fights in boxing.
You said he's a rogue lunatic, but has Canelo faced anyone like Billy in terms? You mentioned the build-up. Do you think Billy can get inside his head? Because we've seen Canelo, he's cool, calm and collective, isn't he?
Look, if we're on a level playing field, I don't think anyone beats Canelo. I don't think, like, on 100% Canelo against 100% anybody else, you'd back Canelo Alvarez all the time. So something's got to go a little bit wrong. You've got to bring that percentage down. So is that mind games? Is that, making him second guess himself? Is it? I don't know what it is, but Billy will do it. That's why would be great for Billy to be here, under better circumstances, because he could get into him early. And that's what Billy's got to do in this fight. He's got to unravel him. You see the same with Tyson Fury. There's similarities between the two in the way they sort of goad and try and sort of almost tantalise the opponent mentally. And I think Billy's got to do that. You've got to get an edge. You've got to get an edge against Canelo Alvarez. Because if you don't, how do you beat him?
I've no idea. Is that a question for me? Because I've no idea.
No, but I've been watching boxing for 34 years. And I've never seen a fighter like Canelo Alvarez in the flesh, up close.
Me neither. Touching, you mentioned Tyson Fury.
Maybe Keyshawn Davis. He's up, yeah. I know this is only his pro debut, but this could be one that you could be.
Make an appearance, Keyshawn. Come on, in you come.
You might be looking at this young man in a few years, saying, "I've never seen a fighter like Keyshawn Davis." That's up to him. Have you got the goods?
Y'all gonna see on my debut this Saturday. I think I'm bringing a fantastic talent. We met up with Eddie Hearn, and we had a lot of dialogue in the DMs, and he believed in me just as much as I believe in myself. So y'all gonna see how much skill I got coming February 27th.
All he needs is a bit more confidence, then he'll be fine.
Thank you, Keyshawn. Thank you. Good luck this Saturday, champ. Well done. Eddie, Tyson Fury, you mentioned him there, that Billy Joe is similar to that. Obviously, the AJ fight. Any news on that? I know probably you spoke to Coogan. I know you've done 45 minutes with Coogan on Sunday. Bless you. Bless you. Mask on.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm all next.
Yes, any news on that fight any further, on destination and whatnot?
You saw a couple of tweets from AJ yesterday, which is a good sign for the fight, because AJ doesn't like to talk about things or commit to things until he's confident they're going to happen, and he wants this fight more than anything. We've been working really, really hard with 258 management and AJ, AJ's management team. They had a meeting yesterday, everything's positive, and that's why you saw AJ saying, I'm ready. So hopefully you'll hear some good news. There is some work going on behind the scenes about venues and territories and site deals.
You're not giving me an exclusive, Eddie. An exclusive.
No, the exclusive will come soon. Right. But just, all you should know is that when you hear the positivity from AJ, because I've got a big mouth, right? So
really?
Yeah, and although I talk on behalf of AJ, AJ's his own man. He's the boss. He's my boss. So until you hear it from AJ, you should never take it for granted, because, I've been known to open my mouth a lot. So when him and 258 and us collectively say we're good to go, then we're good to go. And it'll be, and I love it when he comes out and does that, because it takes a bit of pressure off me, because I'm the one who has to answer all the questions all the time. And you end up opening your mouth or saying the wrong thing, or you're always trying to give people hope and that the fight's happening. And then the famous question, Andy, is, well, how long would you say till we get there? I don't know, 2 weeks? And then 2 weeks passes and we're here again. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Or what percentage, you might like that one, what percentage would you say it's happening? I don't know, 90? Hearn says 90% happening. Oh, of course he does, fucking Hearn says. So, again, it was good to see AJ come out. And, like I said, him, us, 258, we're all aligned, we're all on the same page, we're ready.
And obviously Tyson Fury's team, MTK, Bob Arum, and then
ready. I believe he's ready, and I believe the paperwork will be tied up very soon.
Andy Ruiz came out and said that he believes Tyson Fury will beat Anthony Joshua, and he said that he wasn't impressed with his last performance.
I love that. It's like, I wasn't very impressed with AJ in his last fight. He went, he didn't lose a round against you. Do you know what I mean? And I think the reason he says that is because he wants people to come to be reckless and to fight with him, and AJ didn't. He just schooled him, absolutely schooled him. So. It was a bit of a weird one. I love Andy Ruiz. He'll be here on Saturday. So, you'll get a chance to interview him, hopefully. Why not, we don't represent him, but one of my favourite heavyweights. I think...
get him in one of your heavyweights, and like maybe Chisora, White, or something like that in the future?
I don't think there's many heavyweights that beat him. I think Dillian White could beat him. I think HRGOVIC could beat him, because I think that's a tough style for him. I don't know. I mean, outside of that, Fury has got a good style probably to beat Andy Ruiz. But I think he gives Wilder absolute fits. But, like part of this Reynoso team, fucking dangerous.
Oscar Valdez at the weekend there as well. So
when you've got momentum in life and you work in a positive team of people that feel though you're unbeatable, that raises your level so much. So right now, if you're part of the Eddie Reynoso team, you've got to fancy beating King Kong. Great trainer, great guy, great energy, great spirit in the camp. You've been in gyms, Andy. Great gyms with good energy are probably the best place in the world to be. And this goes back to the community and what they can do. When you step into a boxing gym where you've got people who are in there chasing dreams or enjoying themselves or all trying to better themselves, that energy is phenomenal. Makes you feel great inside, gives you a positive mindset in life, and this is what's happening in Eddie Reynoso's gym. They're all in there, they're all winning, they're all working towards chasing their dreams, they're all believing themselves, they all encourage each other. That's such a positive sort of foundation for success. It's basically the same as in normal life. This is what some people don't understand. If you're around positivity, if you're around great energy, if you're around great people, that will rub off on you. You do. And if you're around pessimistic people or miserable bastards or people that have no dream, that's why you've got to be very careful online, because you mustn't let people drag you down to their level. And again, not to sort of blow smoke up anyone's bum and go on about, I spoke to AJ last night, which is my favourite line. He is a classic example to me of someone that gives me such unbelievable positive energy. Like I will give an interview. I will do. I have a meeting with AJ, and I come out and I'm so pumped, like I just feel like I could just work all night, and I love being around those kind of people. And that's the same with Eddie Reynoso and Canelo. Do you know what I mean? It's just the energy, the positivity, the encouragement. Because if you're comfortable with yourself, you have no problem encouraging others. But it's when you're not confident in yourself, or you're not comfortable, you're not happy, that you feel the need to be pessimistic or to drag people down. You know,
It's online for you, isn't it? That's Twitter in a nutshell.
I think one of the greatest blessings in life is being comfortable within yourself. I keep saying it, I've mentioned it a lot of times, but to the point where you can look yourself in the mirror physically, but more as your position in life, and go, I'm happy. Because then you're unbeatable, really. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could have a good day, a bad day, but ultimately, what you see is me. You know, I'm not being someone different. I'm not telling you lies. It's me. Like me, don't like me, don't care. I'm going to do the same thing every day. I'm going to work as hard as I can, and I'm going to smash it every single day. So let's go, life. You know what I mean? That's when you're dangerous.
See, that's just the motivational speaker I need, Eddie.
When you're not dangerous is when you're bitter and you don't like them and you don't want them to succeed. If you can get to a point in life where you're genuinely happy for everyone. Listen, you don't have to like everyone, and there will be rivals and there will be people you don't like who maybe you don't wish them too much success. But if generally you can walk on the street and see someone who you don't even know and go, I see so many people like that. So many people, I mean, just thinking off the top of my head.
Anthony Lever.
Anthony Lever over there. No, a bit of a random one. Joe Wicks. Yeah. Right? Joe Wicks. Never met the bloke before in my life. Went on my BBC podcast. Followed him for a while. Started, and I thought, how great is this story? How great is this guy? Where he was a PT who started a boot camp, I think in Fulham or Richmond or something like that, and he would turn up every Sunday and try and get people to come to his boot camp, right? Mm-hmm. He would give out flyers at the local train station hoping, and one day he'd have 2 people turn up on a Sunday. The next week he'd have 4. The next week he'd have 10, I think he's cracked it, and the next week he'd have 2. Do you know what I mean? Now this guy, he's got an empire. Do you know what I mean? And the positivity. And listen, I know he's a bit OTT sometimes. He wears the dodgy costumes and stuff like that. But I feed off that. Even on his feed, I'm watching it going, yeah, I love that. And I think that's a lesson to the country and to the public to say together we'll be so much better, so much stronger, so much more positive. And I know it's difficult at the moment, especially at the moment. But I think when we bounce back from this, we should all have more togetherness to say we're Britain, we're a country, we're a community, we're all the same. We're all in this together. So let's inspire each other. Let's try and keep positive instead of just being negative and pessimistic and moany and haters. Do you know what I mean? Yep. So, you know.
Well, Eddie, I needed that today.
Shout out to Joe Wicks. A bit of a random one, but just something I've been thinking about. I'll talk to now a little bit, and I just, again, like, you know, he's like, he had this thing recently. Sorry to go off on a random thing. And where he started, he found a chocolate brand on his Instagram, right? And he looked at the picture and he went, oh, that looks interesting. And he ordered those chocolates. Now, it was a small family business from Newcastle, right? He got the chocolate bars, he loved the wrapper, he loved the product. And he went out and he went, you know what? And he started posting about them, saying, I found this product. It's unbelievable, right? I found it on the Instagram, I've ordered it. Look at the packaging. Oh, it tastes so good. This chocolate company went through the roof, right? They've run out of product. This little family business, and how you can make a difference to someone by at no point did he thought, I'm not going to post about them, like they're not paying me. What he just said, you know what, this is a family business, great product, and again, like it's feeling free to help people, or even if you don't feel like it's helping people, it's just you like to see people do well. You like to see good people do well, and that's what I like. Anyway, back to boxing, because I'm spouting.
I forgot what I asked you.
Yeah. No,
well, yeah, you didn't mention Hrgovic there, and like, I want to mention that Michael Hunter and Hrgovic, IBF final eliminator for AJ's belt, or whoever won. Your thoughts on that, and is that a possibility?
I think it's a great fight. You know, I mean, that's a fight we've been trying to make for a while. I made several offers to Michael Hunter. He didn't respond to those offers. Now he will. He's accepted the fight, and I think it's a brilliant fight. You know, they're probably going to have to wait till the beginning of 2022 to fight for the title. But that fight will take place in April or May, and the winner will get a shot at the World Heavyweight title. They'll be mandatory. Brilliant fight. Really good fight.
I'll quickly touch on Parker Farr out in New Zealand.
Yes.
Quick fight.
Yeah, we've got a busy weekend. We've got 3 shows this weekend. We've got Scardina Friday night on DAZN in Milan. Parker Farr's a brilliant fight. It's going to be Saturday morning on DAZN globally, so in the UK you can watch that as well. And then of course Canelo in the evening. I think you're going to get a special performance from Parker. I think he looks really well. I think sometimes people just look well. Do you know what I mean? I saw Zhilei Zhang today. I said, "You look well." Probably thinking, yeah, but he probably thought, "Who's this nutter?" But you just sometimes you carry yourself well. You look healthy, and Parker looks really healthy, confident. But Farr's a big lump. You know, it's Battle of New Zealand. It's a massive fight out there. But I think Joseph Parker will win that fight inside 6 rounds, and then hopefully we can make this Chisora fight for the end of April, early May.
Another good fight. Estrada Gonzalez.
Great fight. March 13th. I mean, not just great fight, but you've got McCaskill against Breckhouse rematch on there. You've got Kayaguchi defending his world title and Ring Magazine belt. Really good card. It's an absolute breathtaking fight. Matchroom Media have just produced like a behind-the-scenes 24/7 style show on that fight, and I watched it the other day and just, for a fight fan, I think that is the fight in boxing right now, and I can't wait.
Another one, quickly, 2 more questions, because I know you've got to go off and do something with the zone. Devin Haney, Linares next, or are you trying to make the Lopez, whoever, one of the champions?
Yeah, you've got the Fortuna fight. For me, I want him. I had a debate with Bill Haney the other day. He said, "Oh, you said that Devin needs a breakout fight." He does. It's not that he won't accept one. We've all been trying to fight Lopez, to fight Lomachenko, to fight Ryan Garcia. None of them want to fight him. So for me, the next best fight is Jorge Linares. I think it's a great fight. Linares has a good name. He's an outstanding fighter. He's got an exciting style, and that would be a major win for Devin Haney. So if we can't get one of the other big boys, and why Ryan Garcia won't fight Devin Haney is beyond me. But if he won't, I like the Jorge Linares fight next.
Finally, you mentioned there's 15,000 fans here at the Hard Rock Stadium. The Prime Minister back home mentioned that some capacity fans are going to get back in May 17. Yeah. I know you've got dates lined up before that date. Will you push them back? And what's your thoughts on fans coming back?
Because I don't trust. It's not that I don't trust the government, but possibly. But I don't think you can trust the pandemic. So I think it would be naive of us to start putting stuff back in the hope that we could get 1,000 or 2,000, because we want to bring crowds back as soon as possible, but 1,000 or 2,000 doesn't change the economics of the night. So therefore, what I'd like to do is, we've got May 15 as a date. So we've got, in the UK, we've got March 20, Akoli Glowacki. We've got White Povetkin, which is in Gibraltar. We've got Ben against Vargas, April 10. Then we've got a massive show we're playing April 24th or May the 1st. And then I've got May 15th, which will be Boatsi. So in my mind, they're all behind closed doors. Post that, when we're allowed, of course, we'll bring back fans back as soon as possible. Lewis Ritson in a final eliminator. We want to go back to Newcastle end of May. And then from there, but again, like someone said to me the other day, "Oh, you must now stage Joshua Fury in London." I said, "So can you just confirm to me that we're allowed 100,000 in Wembley in June?" No chance. Do you know what I mean? It's going to take time. But it's great news. Yep. And we're all sort of, the memes floating around about June 21st are hilarious. But it's strange, isn't it, when you come here? But we're gutted that we're in a bubble, because the restaurants are open. I think the nightclubs are open. And when you look at the numbers here compared to California, or the argument is, has it made a major difference? But again, it's something that everybody's experienced for the first time. But the answer to your question, we won't be pushing shows back, but we'll be planning accordingly from that date to bring fans back to fights.
Well, Eddie, I'm going to say, I want some smoke on that table tennis. I saw you against Adam Smith on Newman's video. Don't back out now. I've got your number. I know I have.
Slower than our UK bubble. Do you know what I mean? The thing is, though, Andy, people turn up. It is nice in a way. People come to me. Can I just say, your setup is unbelievable. What that means is, you've spent a load of money on this setup.
There's a golf course outside.
Fucking golf course out there in the hotel. I went up to the lads. I went, "What's this?" "Oh, we just thought we'd do an 18-hole crazy golf course." Canelo's got a putting green, chipping area in his room. Wait till you see the fireworks on Saturday, mate. We've gone for it. Big show.
I saw it in San Antonio. It was good, but it's bigger.
You know what happened? After that fight with Callum Smith, I went into his change room, and they were all looking at the laptop in the change room, taking his wraps off. So I said, "What are you doing?" "Oh, look," and they were looking at the ring walk. And I thought, I said, did you like the ring walk? Oh, the best ring walk I've ever done. I thought, fuck.
Wow.
Like, how good's that to hear that from Canelo Alvarez? So this time, we've gone well OTT. Filthy. We've gone filthy this weekend.
I'm looking forward to it.
That's going to be another no context meme, I noticed.
Yeah. It's always on mine and Coogan's interviews. Eddie, I won't keep you much longer. I know you've got to do something with the zone, so again, I always appreciate you doing this. I know, but I want to, you know, I like, it's you do the talking, not me. Thank you so much, Eddie. Thank you.
Cool.
Thanks.